Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. So today I'm going to show you how to do this book cake. Alright, going to show you how to fill it, how to dress it, all that good stuff. So first you want to get those layers soaked with some simple syrup so they don't dry out. Yep, so that's all we're doing right now. Simple syrup, equal parts sugar, water, bring it to a quick boil, let it cool down, take a paintbrush and brush them just like that, each layer. Alright, like we did before in the last video before, we got a nice foundation down so the fruit filling doesn't soak into the second tier, the second layer, get all messy and stuff. So get that down, then get a nice border. I like to double up on borders, so that way I know for sure the strawberry filling is not going anywhere. It's staying inside, like locked inside. Just like that, get it nice and even from corner to corner. Yep, top it off. Now what you want to do is get the top. You want to make sure the top is like, there's no dents, you want to make each corner like super parallel and perpendicular to like the bottom half and all that good stuff. Start by getting the top nice and coated, nice and smooth, icing from each end of the cake to the other end, so that there are no gaps when you're like filling the sides. Nice and filled. And then you're gonna take that pastry bag again, fill it up, and go around the sides with the buttercream. This makes it easier so the icing sticks to the side, and you can like really flatten it out and smoothen it out with a spatula. It's my favorite spatula. I've had this spatula for like 12 years. Well, 10 years. Let's be honest, about 10 years. Still, Old Faithful is never going anywhere. Smoothing every side. I like using a bench scraper or bread scraper, whatever you want to call it. It never bends because it's a good steel. You just want to go around the sides, making sure it's nice and flushed to the cake and nice and angular. You want to create a box. Like I said, since we're doing a book cake, pretty much a book is a rectangular figure, so you want to make sure each angle is nice and perfect and all that good stuff. And the first round doesn't have to be perfect. You'll see. I'm going to do a second round. I don't think I'm going to show it, but this is the crumb coating, and I'm going to come back again so I can get those angles nice and perfect. Cut that board so it's easier, fits in the fridge. You're going to refrigerate that for about 30 minutes to an hour. Now I get that fondant ready. Start off with a nice rectangle and just keep it as a rectangle, obviously, since we're decorating a rectangular cake. Normally I would tell you to flatten it out or roll it out to 1/4 of an inch, but for this specific cake I'm going to 1/2 inch thick, because you want to definitely get those indentations. And I also took the warmthness of my hands to really get those angles and to really smoothen the buttercream out before I put the fondant on. Fondant smoother is your best friend when you're trying to flush these cakes. When you want to make sure the buttercream and the fondant work harmonious together to really stick to these cakes. Take a pizza cutter. So the back half is a book. So the back half I'm going like flush to make sure I can hide the bottom of the back, and then the front half I left a little bit, maybe like 1/4 of an inch in front. You see the bottom of the border, because I want to make sure it looks like a book. And for this next part, you just need your fondant smoother, your fingers, and a balling tool. And I'm just creating the indentations around to make it look like a book. Pinching and grabbing and smoothing all around. Just keep going back and forth with that. And it's starting to look like a book. See? If you make a little scrape or indentation, it's okay. You can add a bookmark right there. You can add lines to make it look like pages. Like, you can hide that very easily. I'm just trimming right now. Again, like I said, all you need for this part is your fingers, a lot of pinching and molding and shaping, and your balling tool to really give a lot of indentation. You want to make it look as detailed as possible before you add any color or anything else to it. So I'm just taking my fingers and grasping, pushing over, pulling and pushing. And then I took the same my bench scraper, and I'm creating lines. That's all. So it looks like pages, see? Next part, I want to color it. So I'm going to take a cutting board and plastic wrap. I'm sorry, not cutting board, cake board. So there's a plastic wrap to wrap it around the parts I do not want to get turned black, because I'm doing a black book. And I'm taking forever to mix the colors. It's important that when you're doing these cakes and you're airbrushing, you want to airbrush something else first, so you know it's the exact color that you need. So sometimes it takes a lot of time, but you want to make sure you get the right color, because once it's on the cake, that's it, you know. So anyway, take the cake board, angle it off on top of the plastic, so the plastic and your cake board is like a double safety net to make sure you don't spray what doesn't need to be turned black. There you go. Did that all around. Just creating the bottom part, making that black so it pops out a little more. And there we go. Look at that. It's a book. We're going to turn it into a Bible. There's a few pieces I wasn't able to grab with the airbrush, so I'm taking a small paintbrush and doing it. And there we go. Just like that, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you guys have a good time. This is Cooking with Chef Momo.